Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 288 based on novel. So let's start. It was far from Universe Ocean to Tilted Peak Sector. However, when using teleportation and natural wormholes, it took much less time than traveling inside Universe Boat. The water was tumbling in Tilted Peak Sector, and there was a bloody tower floating above the waters. Its Tilted Peak Sector. Luo Feng, in the body of Golden Horned Beast, was looking down in Star Tower. It's only been tens of thousands of years since the last time I came here. Only tens of thousands of years. The White Wing hasn't found a master yet. His Shi Wu Wing had already had a spirit. The White Wing also had a spirit. If they were combined, only one of the spirits could survive, and with Luo Feng's affirmation, Shi Wu would definitely be the only one that survived. The spirit of the White Wing would be annihilated, which was why the White Wing had gone crazy the last time Luo Feng was there. It can't find a new master after countless universe eras, so it would be impossible for it to find a new master in only tens of hundreds of years. Luo Feng smirked. The bloody tower teleported and dived into the waters. It teleported itself several times in the water. With the supreme true treasure, he went straight toward the cave. Traveling along the dark cave and passing 9 light screens, the bloody tower entered the wing space. Blade storms filled the entire space. The bloody tower shrank to the size of a speck of dust, and it approached that gleaming light wing. After almost a month, it finally reached the area in front of the light wing. White Wing. Golden Horned Luo Feng saw the core of the light wing, and the scratches and blood on it. The bloody tower kept approaching it. Now, the mind attack from the White Wing was nothing to Luo Feng. A ripple came from the White Wing and was passed to Luo Feng through Star Tower. Space Beast, said an ancient voice. The Golden Horned Beast pretended to be surprised and said, "Who are you?" "I am the spirit of the Wing True Treasure," said the ancient voice. The Golden Horned Beast made a surprised voice. "The spirit of the True Treasure? Then what's that mind attack and the blade storm?" The ancient voice continued, but Luo Feng secretly smirked. To get the White Wing back, Boat of Mausoleum was separated from Star Tower when it arrived at the periphery of Tilted Peak Sector. Boat of Mausoleum was hidden in the chaos airflow around Tilted Peak Sector with the Earthling original body and Shi Wu Wing while the Golden Horned Beast came to take the White Wing. Luo Feng knew for certain that once the two valuables were merged, the spirit of the White Wing would die. So if the White Wing saw Luo Feng coming, it would do everything it could to prevent Luo Feng from taking ownership over it, and it might even kill itself along with Luo Feng. Even though the White Wing was only an object instead of a life form, it shouldn't have terrifying skills. However, to make sure everything went smoothly, he allowed the Golden Horned Beast to go first. The White Wing only knew that he was human, it didn't know he had a Golden Horned Beast body. "Humph. After you recognize me as your master, you won't be able to do anything about it," thought Luo Feng. The Golden Horned Beast pretended to be incomparably excited to find a supreme true treasure, and he was talking with the spirit of the White Wing. The spirit of the White Wing rushed to recognize the Golden Horned Beast as its master, so he didn't lie to him the way he had lied to Luo Feng. Instead, it told the Golden Horned Beast the conditions directly. "I'm more powerful than you think," said the White Wing. "And because of that, the requirements are very high. If you're a Universe Knight, you must have the willpower of a Universe Supreme Master, and if you're a Universe Master, your willpower must surpass that of a Universe Supreme Master. If you can't meet the conditions, tell the other great beings in your race to come. I've been lonely for too long, and I want to get out." The White Wing tried everything to persuade the Golden Horned Beast. Luo Feng sighed. Wow. It was being so nice. It had been very sneaky when his original body had come in, yet now, it was so passionate. "Howl. Are you being serious?" "Of course I am," said the White Wing. "Howl." The Golden Horned Beast looked extremely excited. He roared, "It's great. I arrived here easily and withstood that mind attack because my willpower is at the Universe Supreme Master level. Also, I'm a Universe Knight, so I meet the conditions." The spirit of the White Wing was exhilarated. The thing it was most afraid of was being retrieved by Luo Feng, as that meant it would die. The whole process was very smooth under the guidance of the white wing. Seal your godly power on the wing, and then I'll recognize you as my master. The white wing was very cooperative. It wanted to leave the wing space more than anything, and it wanted to tell the new master that a human possessed another part of this true treasure. It wanted the new master to use it to kill that human. After that, it would swallow the spirit of Sherwu Wing. I am the true spirit of the wing true treasure. That goddamn thing took so many energies from the origin. It has to die. The spirit of the white wing hated Sherwu's guts. It was instinct. Succeeded, the golden horned beast yelled. Master, the wing is also damaged, said the spirit of the white wing. It needs to absorb some precious materials to recover or swallow some pinnacle true treasures. After the white wing being taken, the blade storms also disappeared, and the wing space became ordinary. Teleportation was possible now. The bloody tower reached the entrance after one teleportation. The spirit of the white wing was thrilled. Finally, the legendary universe ocean. The bloody tower left tilted peak sector and entered the deeper area of the chaos airflow. The boat of mausoleum, in the size of a walnut, approached it and sucked it in. The golden horned beast was sitting inside Star Tower. I can feel it. The strong attraction. Master, it's that human. The human who has the component. The white wing felt the calling. I used to be a mighty true treasure, but after that bloody war, it was dismantled, and the human got the other components. I can feel the attraction. His nearby. The boat of mausoleum showed up beside Star Tower, and a human walked out. He was wearing a silver wing and silver armor with a stone blade on his back. The spirit of the white wing. Luo Feng looked at the white wing on golden horned beast. You. The spirit of the white wing immediately understood. It could feel the absolute command that it had to do anything the human wanted. Ah, I should have let out all my energies. Damn human. The spirit of the white wing roared, realizing that it would die soon. In case anything happened, said Luo Feng coldly. Now, it's time for you to die. Actually, a single thought from Luo Feng could annihilate the spirit of the white wing. However, he preferred for Sherwu Wing swallow it, as he could learn more. Merge. Luo Feng used his godly power to control it. The pair of white wings and the 4 silver wings floated in the sky at the same time and started to integrate. The components connected to one another, and the origin was transferred to the bottom silver wing. After all, the silver wing was complete, so it didn't need to worry about an energy leak. The power spread when they were being integrated. Such strong power, Luo Feng held his breath. This machine-type valuable must be better than the machine-type valuables used by Universe Supreme Masters. Luo Feng saw that the restructuring process was extremely complicated. The power stopped spreading, and the giant 6 wings were floating. The bottom 4 wings were complete. The top 2 wings had sharp edges, and there were lots of engravings on the edge, making them keener. According to the spirit of Sherwu, the complete Sherwu wing had 6 pairs. The other 5 pairs were like blade backs and blade bodies, while the white wing was like the edge. Come. The 6-winged true treasure flew toward Luo Feng and merged onto his back. The 6 wings shone. Without any godly power, the true treasure slashed the space in the control room easily. Even without the origin, it can rival a supreme true treasure. Luo Feng exclaimed. If I use my Nirvana Renaissance, it might only be weaker than my Blood Shadow Blade. If I use the origin. Unfortunately, I can't use the origin yet. The origin was like an engine. It was used to store energies. When great beings used the complete 6 wings, the godly power should infuse the origin, which would transfer the godly power into something more aggressive energies in the form of Blade Storm. The energies could be stored in the origin, and in an actual fight, it could use the storage before using the godly power. However, the stored energies belonged to the former master instead of Luo Feng. He could infuse his godly power into the origin and transform it into blade storms, but it would be much weaker. When he used the origin, he had to expel the energies from the former master. The 2 kinds of godly power were at different levels, so they couldn't be stored in one place. Once it exploded, it would be used up at one time, but Luo Feng couldn't utilize even 1/10 of it. The only way he could use it was to infuse his godly power to expel the energies left by the former master. When the former energies were expelled all at once, it would be extremely powerful, so Luo Feng didn't dare to use the origin. He only used his godly power to drive Shi Wu Wing, making Shi Wu Wing work like an ordinary supreme true treasure. Luo Feng wouldn't use the origin for no good reason. He had two thoughts on the origin. One idea was to use the energies stored in the origin to repair the complete wing true treasure when he got the other 3 pairs in the future, just like how Shi Wu Wing absorbed a great amount of energies to repair its damage. Even though machine-type valuables could repair themselves, they needed energies, after all. However, his energies weren't good enough to repair a supreme valuable like Shi Wu Wing's. This was one thought. Another thought was to use it as a trump card. Each blade energy was more terrific than attacks from Universe Supreme Masters and could crack a top-tier palace-type true treasure. If all the hundreds of millions of energies exploded through the White Wing's edge, even a supreme true treasure would be crack. As for Universe Supreme Masters, they wouldn't be more doomed. Of course, he could only use it once. I'll try to find the other 3 pairs of wings and absorb the energies, thought Luo Feng. The energies left are enough to make attacks. Actually, the energies were enormous. Some of them were enough to kill a Universe Supreme Master. However, he couldn't use them effectively. The Bloody Tower left titled Peak Sector and rushed to the original universe. Shi Wu Wing transferred a ripple. Master, the wing is damaged, so when it's triggered by your godly power, it'll be significantly weaker and will hinder the overall power. It has to swallow some precious material for repair, usually the main material for pinnacle true treasures. Directly swallowing pinnacle true treasures is fine as well, but it's too costly. And, more importantly, there are 3 godly bloodstains on the White Wing, and they affect the overall power as well. However, after the 3 wings being combined, it's easier to expel the godly blood. But when it's integrated with the 6th pair of wings, it'll drive them out. Shi Wu Wing talked about it a lot on the way back to the original universe. After all, it had to suppress the bloodstains while being damaged, so it wanted the problem to be solved as soon as possible. I'll collect some material when I get back, but I don't have enough material with me now, Luo Feng told Shi Wu. He did have some true treasures. During the inheritance, lots of great beings were killed. However, the great beings who left before the basic inheritance took away the supreme true treasures and pinnacle true treasures. They saw the deaths of the 2 true masters from the Divine Eye clan, so they knew that not even palace-type supreme true treasures could protect them. They also knew that only one could survive the basic inheritance, so almost none of them brought any true treasures. However, lots of true treasures had been left by some great beings who were killed by the monster Kueyo, the Universe Masters who got killed for trying to kill Undying Fighters, and the great beings from the Divine Eye clan who got killed. The 2 supreme true treasures and a precious true treasure were given to Thundercoat Devil God by Duandong River, while the other true treasures were left in Boat of Mausoleum and became Luo Feng's. Which meant Luo Feng's biggest gain was the true treasures left. They came here just for the inheritance, so they're prepared for death. Lots of them didn't bring true treasures. Luo Feng exclaimed. There are only a pinnacle domain type, pinnacle palace type, and pinnacle soul type true treasures. As for ordinary pinnacle true treasures and top-tier domain type and palace type true treasures, there are only 12 of them. Those weaker than them aren't even worth mentioning. They're not enough for Shi Wu Wing to recover. These valuables might be what a Universe Supreme Master could have. Those who went for inheritance rarely carried precious true treasures except those like 7th True Master who tried to use Icecliff Fortress to save his life. Shi Wu transferred a ripple. Master. Luo Feng listened to it. There are 4 bloodstains on the 6th wing, said Shi Wu, and after an eternity, a bloodstain was driven out, forming a drop of godly blood. For the 6th pair of wings, under the influence of the bloodstain, the infusion of godly power would be negatively affected. He hadn't checked the 6th pair of wings. The complete wing true treasure has 6 pairs. Luo Feng got the first 2 pairs, and the white wing was the 6th pair of wings, so he still needed the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th pair. The godly blood must be the blood of the former owner of this wing true treasure. It contains endless power. Master, you can't use your godly power to cover it, said Shawu. You should firstly drive it out and then use your star tower to withhold it. Sure. Luo Feng grew excited. Godly blood. The godly blood of a supreme being who could damage the complete Shawu wing. The willpower alone was mighty, and such a drop of godly power could be put to great use. Under Luo Feng's control, a drop of scarlet blood showed up on the white wing, and there were drops of black blood around it. It fell on the floor of the control room of Star Tower. The floor sank like a bowl, and the drop of godly blood flowed and formed an oval. Normal valuables can't hold the godly blood, Luo Feng exclaimed. His godly power couldn't hold it. When great beings trained themselves, their bodies would be energized after becoming undying, and his life imprint was sealed on each trace of his energy. After becoming a universe supreme master, all the bodies were combined as one, and the energies would be materialized again. They could burn their flesh and blood to fight. The flesh and blood had more functions. The energy contained in this drop of blood was enormous, and the mental pressure is strong, Luo Feng thought. Universe Ocean nowadays might not be able to fully utilize the energies in this drop of godly blood. However, it's not difficult to turn this drop of godly blood into a soul-type valuable. All I need to do is bind the mind attack in one direction. If the crushing willpower spread, only the best universe masters could hold the willpower. If it was concentrated in one direction, it would become a laser. Only the mind of a universe supreme master could barely resist it. With this mental crushing alone, those universe masters who have weaker willpower will be in agony. Luo Feng smiled. Even the minds of universe supreme masters can't resist it if they're attacked suddenly. The godly blood could be energized. It could be used to compromise supreme true treasures. It could be used to crush mind. Luo Feng couldn't do the first type, and the second type would be a waste, so the third type was the most suitable. And he had a teacher who was best at making true treasures in Universe Ocean. These are just my ideas, they might not be fulfilled, thought Luo Feng. I'm not able to make a valuable. I'll go back to the original universe, find Master Sitting Mountain Guest, and listen to what he has to say. Master Sitting Mountain Guest was the expert on it, so he could fully utilize this drop of blood. Z. A drop of blood from a supreme being of the ancient civilization. A supreme being who could damage the complete 6 wings that were stronger than supreme beings. What an amazing being it was. No wonder even a single drop of blood contained such power. Luo Feng used his mind for communication. Shawu, I don't have many true treasures, and the precious material within the human race isn't enough. So I'll leave the golden horned beast with you. You can go to the deep area of Universe Ocean and get the valuables left by Jiefanzi. Jiefanzi is a lone universe supreme master. When he went to try the incarnations, he might only take supreme true treasures that are actually useful, or some valuables like Pinnacle Palace type true treasures. Jiefanzi might leave more valuables there than the valuables left by the killed great beings from the Divine Eye clan. Okay. Quick, go. Shawu was excited. They separated halfway. Golden Horned Beast wore force armor and Shawu wing to fly to the deep area of Universe Boat. He was also carrying Star Tower. With Star Tower, it was easy to get the valuables left by Jiefanzi. As for the original Earthling body, he was wearing Crazy Demon Extermination godly armor. He was carrying the Blood Shadow Blade and Boat of Mausoleum and went back to the original universe. These two bodies were Luo Feng's main bodies. The original body had Blood Shadow Blade, so he was more powerful. As for the Golden Horned Beast body, he had Shawu Wing, which carried the origin that was Luo Feng's trump card. These two weren't even afraid of Universe Supreme Masters. Soon, Luo Feng arrived back at the original universe, and the seniors of the human race knew about it. Outside the Huge Axe Godly Palace in the virtual universe, the 19 Universe Masters and Huge Axe Creator gathered there and were celebrating. Luo Feng came back to the original universe. He's safe now. Pengong Master laughed. Beings from the other universe eras and the 2 Holy Lands couldn't enter the original universe. Besides, even Universe Supreme Masters can't use their power thoroughly in the original universe. With Luo Feng's power, he's able to fight them now. We humans will be booming now. Primal Chaos City leader was excited. Yes. We'll be the #1 power in Universe Ocean in the future, said Void Gold Master. The seniors in the human race were all exhilarated. They feared that something might happen to Luo Feng when he came back. Fortunately, he arrived home safely. They could all see a thriving future for the human race. On the long stone table outside Hugh Jax's godly palace, Hugh Jax Creator and 19 other Universe Masters gathered. Hugh Jax Creator's gaze swept over the surroundings as his powerful voice boomed, "We are here first to welcome Luo Feng and congratulate him on his safe return. Second, we are here to discuss the plan for our human race, rise in the Universe Ocean, rise." Hearing this word, everyone, including Luo Feng, Primal Chaos City leader, Blackness Master, Void Gold Master, and Deserted Mirror Master, held their breath in excitement. Yes. Time to rise. In the original universe, the human race was considered a pinnacle race, but in the vast Universe Ocean, they were so weak that if they were in the first reincarnation era or second reincarnation era, with only one Universe Supreme Master leading the entire race, they would never qualify enough to be ranked as a pinnacle race. Even the 7 Supreme Universe Masters of the Divine Eye clan were not worth a mention, as the pinnacle races from the first or second reincarnation era, on average, would have at least 3 to 5 Universe Supreme Masters. The only presentable great being from the human race was Hugh Jax, who was, alone, an extremely powerful being. The other Universe Masters, within the Universe Ocean, were weak in power and small in number. This time around, the plan is to rise in Universe Ocean. Hugh Jax Creator was filled with excitement and expectation. Milky Way Horde leader shall lead, everyone else must cooperate. We must breed more undying fighters, more Universe Knights, and more Universe Masters from our pool of humans. And from there, we can bring up more Universe Supreme Masters. Yes, yes, yes. One by one, clear and resounding responses were heard. The group of Universe Masters from humanity were full of hope for the future of their race, all of them filled with motivation. Furthermore, they had heard Luo Feng's preaching and were clearly aware that the ancient civilization had a systematic way of cultivation which was very useful. It would certainly be able to bring about developmental changes to the human race's capabilities. Besides, Luo Feng was very knowledgeable about the ancient civilization, and he was an heir of the pulse of Duandong River. He was the most suitable choice as leader. To choose someone who did not know much about the ancient civilization would be folly. Luo Feng also stood up and looked around. Will do my utmost best. For we humans, to truly dominate Universe Ocean, and become the top power of Universe Ocean. Dominate the Universe Ocean. Everyone was going through an emotional moment, even Primal Chaos City leader and Hugh Jax Creator felt tremors in their hearts, least to mention the other Universe Masters, who were all burning with passion. There was a saying that went, "A soldier who did not want to become a general was not a good soldier." Amongst close to 100 powers in Universe Ocean, did any not covet after the status of first within Universe Ocean? It was a luxury that existed in their wildest dreams, not in reality. In the past, who would have enough clout to make such a remark? Not a single being would dare say so. No clout. Even when Teacher Origin was still around, he alone was very powerful. No one had ever mentioned anything about the human race daring to dominate Universe Ocean or daring to become the top power. After all, in terms of power, when compared to the 2 Holy Land universes, the human race was far too inferior. The 2 Holy Land universes had several hundred Universe Masters. The human race only had 19, including Luo Feng. And they even had Universe Masters to be, because there was a limit to the number of Universe Masters the Holy Land universes could accommodate, they were not able to provide them with godly powers to achieve their breakthroughs. That was why, even if several Universe Masters from the 2 Holy Lands were to be annihilated, their vacancies would be filled up very quickly. Speaking of supreme true treasures, 6th-tiered Universe Masters of the 2 Holy Lands had quite a few. The human race. Not even one. Previously, even Hugh Jax Creator himself did not have one. Luckily, he had since gained his godly axe. Hugh Jax Creator's powerful voice was heard again. My human race will see the rise of a few hundred, or even 1,000, Universe Masters, and we will see the rise of a dozen universe supreme master. The two Holy Land universes shall not be able to hold a candle to us humans. How far we make it all depends on us. We are the heroes of our race. Let's work hard, everyone, for the future of our race. For the future of our race. For the future of our race. One after the other, the universe masters let out shouts of excitement. All of their hearts were trembling. Their hearts trembled because this goal was massive, so massive that in the past, they would not have dared make such claims. They would not have had the clout to do so. Yet now, Luo Feng had gained the inheritance of the pulse of Duandong River. This ancient inheritance gave them the confidence to desire to be the first in Universe Ocean. The human race would benefit greatly, and this would bring about an earth-shattering change. When the discussion ended, the other great beings left successively. Only Huge Axe Creator, Primal Chaos City Leader, and Luo Feng remained. Luo Feng. Huge Axe Creator was filled with anticipation. We have to trouble you during this period. Anything for our race, he said. Yes, for our race. Huge Axe nodded. There were two reasons why Luo Feng had started all of this after his return. Firstly, there were too many systems within the inheritance. The cultivation process was massive. Teaching and transmission of consciousness through the virtual universe was just too slow. Secondly, to cultivate the great beings who were going to take charge of the human's future, many items were required. For instance, ice mountains that contained lore engravings. These could only be found within the space of inheritance, so Luo Feng had to bring them back. This time, our plan to rise will consist of two parts, Huge Axe Creator said with a smile. The first part involves cultivating the individual power of our race's great beings. This will require time. The second part involves our supreme true treasures. You just returned to the original universe. When do you intend to make the deal with East Emperor Holy Land? I intend to set up the main framework for the various systems of cultivation within Primal Chaos City first, Luo Feng said. I think I will take around 10 days to half a month to complete everything. Then I will get in touch with East Emperor Holy Land. Huge Axe smiled. If I had known that you will be able to get these supreme true treasures, I would not have taken the risk and headed for Tilted Peak Sector. I am now rushing back from the core land of Tilted Peak Sector, but this core land is extremely dangerous, so I will need some time to rush back. All right, Huge Axe said. You and your teacher shall make the arrangements for matters regarding cultivation then. Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader departed without further ado. In the Primal Universe, Primal Chaos City, on the high grounds within City Leader Palace, Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader stood by the railings where they had a bird's-eye view of the countless buildings within Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng, this plan to rise is extremely important, Primal Chaos City Leader reminded him. The inheritance of that ancient civilization must never ever spread beyond our land. You will be leading the entire cultivation system, so you must be vigilant and take measures to prevent any leaked information. That is a given. Luo Feng smiled. With more and more great beings emerging within our human race, the other races and powers will naturally start to suspect something, which was why I chose Primal Chaos City as the cultivation land. It is safest here, where no other great beings would dare intrude. Besides, there are some things that even if a spy manages to catch a glimpse of, he will never be able to steal. For instance, the 300 ice mountains that I have prepared. Also, based on the different degrees and giftedness of individuals, I will prepare a more personalized cultivation method. The entire cultivation system was massive and complex. Other than the areas that involved items that Luo Feng had to prepare, there were also many other training methods that were placed within the virtual universe. Therefore, Luo Feng specially brought 12 memory stones back and placed them within the core area of the virtual universe that was located within the Primal Chaos City Leader Palace for the purpose of receiving the tremendous amount of information from the memory stones. Virtual Universe, Primal Chaos City, would be the main places allocated as the two major cultivation lands. Those in contact with confidential information were either the core higher-ups of the human race or the spiritual servants, and regardless of who it was, the amount of confidential information that every individual could get in touch with was only the tip of the iceberg. Only what the virtual universe acknowledged could truly become a system. And, of course, only Luo Feng knew the most. Original universe, Milky Way galaxy, Luo Feng's godly palace. I just returned from the original universe. Luo Feng held his transmission token and spoke into it. North True Star Master, fret not. The deal will take place soon. A message was sent from the virtual universe. It was from Primal Chaos City leader, Luo Feng. Quickly get to the virtual universe. What could be so urgent? When Luo Feng laid eyes on the mail that Primal Chaos City leader sent, he found it to be blood red in color, representing a message of extreme urgency. From where he appeared in the virtual universe, Luo Feng saw Primal Chaos City leader standing right ahead of him on the apex of Thunder Island. Teacher. Primal Chaos City leader wore a heavy expression. The moment he saw Luo Feng, he said right away, "Let's go." To Huge Axe's palace. He gave no explanation. It was an endless darkness beneath the glimmer of the starry sky. On a floating piece of land, several figures appeared by the long table before Huge Axe's godly palace. Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader were the first to arrive. Teacher, what is going on? Luo Feng asked persistently. You will know in a while, Primal Chaos City leader said in a dreary tone. Luo Feng secretly heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed like although the matter was extremely important, it was still within their control. If not, teacher would not have waited for every single universe master to arrive. Soon, the 19 universe masters were all gathered again. A lone figure appeared out of nowhere and positioned himself in the host seat. It was Huge Axe Creator. Dear all, Huge Axe Creator said. His gaze swept through all 19 universe masters. Everyone looked over. They had all been summoned here with a note of urgency. I met with some trouble. Huge Axe Creator looked at the 19 top-notch beings of the human race, and, in a low voice, he continued. I was at the core ground of Tilted Peak Sector and met with trouble. The previous battle against Yuan Ao Master. That map that got leaked must have been a fake. The map is fake. Luo Feng was shocked. He had personally made the trip previously, and with Ice Mountain Master's help, he managed to seize a portion of that map. It was a trick, Huge Axe Creator said solemnly, but the opponent did not expect my power to be so strong, which is why they suffered a loss. But during the fight, I was extremely unlucky to have fallen into the land of darkness of the core ground. Land of darkness. Everyone, including Luo Feng, revealed expressions of shock and anger. The most detailed map of the human race that was shared by all had been mainly contributed by Luo Feng, so naturally, he would be the one who knew it the best. The Land of Darkness was a most terrifying domain within the core region of Tilted Peak Sector. Compared to it, other regions within the universe boat, like the so-called Flame Ice region and God-destroying Valley, were merely child's play. Every being knew that any place within that core region was much more terrifying than Flame Ice region. Moreover, they were now talking about the Land of Darkness, which was well known even to the other places among the core region itself. The danger it contained, though extremely terrifying, was still considered mid-range within the core region. However, of those who had fallen into the Land of Darkness, none had ever emerged again. It was a prison of despair. The Land of Darkness, said Huge Axe Creator. Although those who have fallen into it were all universe supreme beings, I have never heard of any who made it out of there. Huge Axe Creator's gaze swept through the 19 universe masters, and he solemnly continued, firstly, the number of universe supreme masters who have fallen into the Land of Darkness was very few to begin with, but the small number cannot explain much about the place. Secondly, I am different from any ordinary universe supreme master. I am not trapped in the Land of Darkness, unable to get out for the time being, but so long as we keep mum about this, no one besides us will know. I need time to slowly figure a plan to get out. During this period, my human race must maintain a lower profile. Huge Axe Creator was very solemn as he instructed, Teacher Origin has been suppressed, and I am trapped. There is no universe supreme master to lead our race for the time being. This is very dangerous. Make sure this news does not leak out. One by one, the universe masters replied. Understood. Understood. Everyone was clear about the severity of the situation. Without a universe supreme master in the lead, this news spelled great trouble. I am giving my best now, Hujack's creator said with a serious expression. No distractions. If there is nothing important, do not contact me. Then he vanished into thin air. Before Hujack's godly palace, 19 of the top beings of the human race were seated around the long table, looking at one another with hearts filled with worry. The land of darkness. What if Hujack's creator was unable to return forever? What should they do? Without a universe supreme master in the lead, the human race would meet with a lot of trouble in the future. The news about Hujack's being trapped must not be leaked out beyond us, Primal Chaos City leader spoke up. This news will be classified as confidential, top secret. Luo Feng and the others nodded solemnly. Suddenly, just as Primal Chaos City leader, Darkness Master, Luo Feng, and the rest were feeling frustrated, Hujack's creator suddenly reappeared in the host seat by the long stone table. In his eyes, there was shock and anger as he roared repeatedly, "Remember, do not come to the land of darkness. Do not come here." The figure disappeared. All 19 of them, including Luo Feng, jumped to their feet as they felt something ominous. What's wrong? What did Hujack's creator meet with? Why did he disappear after saying that? Everyone was panicking. Merely a few seconds later, Void Gold Master's expression betrayed shock and fear as he said in a piercing voice, Hujack's miniature universe is starting to fall apart. Hujack's was annihilated. His universe is falling apart. Hujack's was annihilated. Everyone grew frantic. Luo Feng, Primal Chaos City leader, Darkness Master, and the rest rose to their feet. One by one, they all fell into a state of momentary shock from the sudden news that had just hit them. This was a nightmare for the entire human race. Luo Feng, Primal Chaos City leader, Darkness Master, Void Gold Master, Pengong Master, Remote Lord Master, Qingdong Master, and the rest were worried, furious, and dumbfounded. The only universe supreme master of humanity who was capable of leading the race had fallen. The skies had truly collapsed over humanity. This video will end here.